Bullet Train is the brand new Sony film hitting theaters today, August 5th. Film comes from the director David Leitch, who directed Hobbs and Shaw, Deadpool 2, and Atomic Blonde. The film stars Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, Joey King, Andrew Koji, Hiroki Sanada, Bad Bunny, Logan Lerman, Zazie Beetz, Michael Shannon, and Sandra Bullock. And tells the story about five assassins who are aboard a fast-moving bullet train in Japan who find out that their missions have something in common. The film's 2 hours and 6 minutes long and is rated R. Welcome back to a brand new movie review here at Max Talks Movies. We're talking about The Bullet Train, the last kind of big movie of the summer. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, box office breakdown show as well. So please subscribe and ring that bell so you're notified when my videos drop. Comment down below, first of all, if you've seen Bullet Train. This has been a pretty divisive movie. It's pretty much 55%. Critics are kind of split right down the middle. So let me know, where do you stand on Bullet Train? If you have not seen it, tell me, are you going to check it out this weekend, or is this a film that you want to wait to see at home? Also, please like the video, guys. The thumbs up button, that's the best way to support this channel. Really helps with the algorithm, so more people on YouTube will be recommended to watch my review. So please do that. It really helps the channel a lot. So let's get into Bullet Train. I was really excited for this movie. The trailers absolutely sold me. This might be the best cast in a movie all year long. It's really top to bottom. There's also a lot of cameos that are kind of thrown into the mix. I don't want to spoil it to you guys, but there's a lot of fun cameos as well. This is a all-star cast. This is based off of a book. And the writer of this movie, the screenplay writer, this is only his second movie ever writing a screenplay for. He wrote a screenplay for Fear Street Part 2. So the director, David Leitch, has a big, long history of action movies. David Leitch has really begun by doing the John Wick films as directing their action films in the first John Wick film. He was the one who kind of brought that top tier action back to movies back in 2014. He's an uncredited director for that film, but he produced it, has a screenplay. Does not have a screenplay, but he has an uncredited director and really helped John Wick get to the next level with its action. So off of that movie, he then wanted to do his own thing as a director. So he did Atomic Blonde, which came out a couple years ago, the Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw, and now Bullet Train. So he's kind of been like the top tier action director, kind of working today the past couple of years, especially getting these A-list actors. It's about Charlize Theron and James McAvoy for Atomic Blonde. Obviously Ryan Reynolds, but also bringing in Zazie Beetz and Josh Brolin for Deadpool 2, and then obviously Hobbs and Shaw with, The Rock, Statham, and Idris Elba. There's a lot going on. So this is definitely his best cast to date. And let's get into what I thought about this movie. So I had a fun enough time watching this movie. I was never bored, really, I would say, throughout the film, because first of all, I think the action of this movie is actually quite good. It is definitely rated R, and it's definitely way more violent than I thought. Actually, walking into the movie, I thought it was going to be PG-13. And once the first couple action scenes happened, I was like, this is definitely not PG-13. But this is a very rated R movie with very big violence. As it's kind of similar to Deadpool 2 with its violence, not as over-the-top violence, but this has definitely its violence to it. But the main reason why this movie, at times, even when it's bad, is watchable, is the cast. This is a top-tier cast, as I said, led by Brad Pitt, who kind of plays this second-tier assassin for Sandra Bullock's character, who his nickname's Ladybug, and he kind of just doesn't want to kill people anymore. He doesn't bring this gun on this mission, and things kind of get intense with all these different characters. But Pitt is the perfect lead for this movie. He knows exactly what movie he is in. He's clearly having a lot of fun in the movie. And he's actually really good in the action scenes. It's kind of been a while for Pitt for being in the action genre. He's done, obviously, things. He's obviously the Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but he hasn't really been in this big of an action movie in a long time, which is kind of nice to see him do this. I think that the most entertaining part of the movie for me was Aaron Taylor Johnson, who plays Tangerine. Him and his twin, Lemon, played with Brian Tyree Henry, are some of the most entertaining characters in the entire movie, especially Aaron Taylor Johnson, who has so much fun in this movie. He's very entertaining, but you also can take him serious as an assassin at the same time. While yes, you can have a lot of fun, he's making a lot of jokes, he can also kill some people, and you could definitely feel that with his character. Brian Tyree Henry is also very excellent, a very different role for him. All the cast really good. Michael Shannon, very limited, as well as Sandra Bullock. Both are very good and very limited roles. Zazie Beetz has my favorite action scene in the entire film with her and Brad Pitt. She's not in the movie that much, sadly, as well. Andrew Koji and Hiroki Sanada are also very good in this movie as well. So the acting for me across the board, and Bad Bunny was a fun addition. This is a very fun, charismatic cast. We're talking about Brad Pitt and Aaron Taylor Johnson and, you know, Bad Bunny, a lot, and just a lot of highly entertaining actors getting a chance to be in this movie, which was a lot of fun. As I said, the action is definitely, for me, the best part of the movie because there's a lot of fun action that is going on here. But shockingly violent one. Some use as comedy, some just for fun. But I was thoroughly entertained with really every action scene in the movie. As I said, the cast were already entertaining enough. The action was also very entertaining. So for me, the cast is very good. The dynamic between Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry is one of my favorite aspects of the movie. So the action was good and the cast was good. Let's get into some of my negatives, though. As I said, I'm trying to tiptoe in that the biggest problem by a long shot for this movie is the script. The story is just kind of all over the place, and the movie is way too long. It is over 2 hours long, and the third act feels like it's a really long, feels like a third act. The movie definitely drags towards the end, which is a big problem because the biggest action scene of the whole movie is in the third act. And it just feels, it sucks that it drags because this movie could have easily been, honestly, an hour and a half. I think it would have accomplished the exact same thing, but it's 2 hours and 6 minutes, which as I talk about with movies, if it's 2 hours and 6 minutes and I don't feel it, that's a really good thing. I said that's the perfect runtime for the movie. But when you can really feel it being 2 hours and 6 minutes, because the whole movie, basically 90% of it takes place on a train. So most of this movie is actually talking. And a lot of the jokes for me didn't work as much as I wanted to. I was never like belly laughing throughout the entire, not one joke just kind of made me go crazy laughing. I chuckled definitely throughout the movie, but I wouldn't say it's a hilarious movie. And this movie goes for every single joke, especially with Brad Pitt's character. And it really does miss the mark more than not. So that part was a bit disappointing. I wanted the film to be a lot funnier. I think the Taylor Johnson Tyree Henry dynamic was the funniest part of the movie. And I felt like Pitt was not as funny as I thought he would be. Even though he was good, his jokes felt a little bit more flat as the movie kept going on. I think they needed to make the White Death, who's played by Michael Shannon, a bit more of a threat. He's kind of just talked about, and then he shows up for the last 20 minutes, and you're like, oh, okay, he obviously might not win. So I wish the White Death, who seems like a pretty cool character, kind of just gets talked about. There's also so many exposition dumps where we just flash back. Like our characters, like, oh, you want to hear a story? And then we go back to the past. I think every character, or at least 95% of these characters have a flashback scene of something that affects them in this moment. It was just like a little too much. Like we got to stay in the moment instead of just building up these characters in the middle of action scenes. They'll just do a flashback on why you're supposed to care about these characters. And that's another big problem. I just didn't care about anyone in the movie making that alive or dying. There were no emotional, I didn't have any emotional connection to any character. If you do the emotional connection, it's really because of the actor themselves, not because of the characters. So I feel like with David Leitch's movies, the action's always good and he has very entertaining actors and action scenes in all of his movies, but his scripts, the movies that he's done, the screenplays for all of them are just not very good. I know that's a controversial take because I know a lot of people love Deadpool 2. I like Deadpool 2, but I did nowhere near the original. I have fun enough with Atomic Blonde, and I actually kind of liked Hobbs and Shaw, but those movies just don't have great screenplays. And kind of similar to Deadpool 2, this movie is just so all over the place. So many different characters are connecting. There's a lot of twists and turns. And for me, it's a bit on a too much overload. So overall, I enjoyed Bullet Train. I did not love this movie like I wanted to. So I wouldn't say I was disappointed. This movie could have been a lot stronger. But for me, the action scenes were good enough, and the acting itself was really good. So I'm going to give Bullet Train a 3 out of 5 stars. I'm going to go 62% for Bullet Train. I wanted to go a lot higher than this movie. At the opening, I was like, oh, okay, I'm really into this. And then the movie just keeps on going. It drags a bit too much. So that's my thoughts on Bullet Train. Please like the video, subscribe, ring the bell. Tell me if you've seen the movie. Where do you stand on it? I'm a bit positive on it. Are you positive? Are you negative? The person I watched it with really did not like this movie. So let me know in the comment section down below, and please like the video. More videos are coming very, very soon. Today, I already reviewed the new Apple TV Plus movie, Luck. Tomorrow, we have my review of the new Hulu film, Prey. So a lot of reviews are coming here on the channel soon, including my box office breakdown show on Monday, where we'll break down how does Bullet Train do at the box office. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys very soon with another movie review here on Max Talks Movie.